I thought I had it all. The perfect husband, Theo, a beautiful home, and a life filled with love and laughter. Or so I believed. My name is Yara, and for 10 years, I poured my entire heart into our marriage. I supported his dreams, celebrated his successes, and stood by him through every challenge. I was the devoted wife, the one who planned surprise date nights and always made sure his favorite meal was ready when he came home from a long day. I honestly thought we were a team, building a future together, brick by brick. But little did I know, while I was building our home, he was building a secret life. The first crack in my perfect world appeared as a tiny, almost unnoticeable hairline fracture. Theo started working late more often. "Big project at work, honey," he'd say, kissing my forehead. I believed him, of course. Why wouldn't I? He was my Theo. Then came the business trips, suddenly more frequent and always last minute. I'd pack his bags, slipping in little notes to tell him I missed him, never suspecting that the distance between us was growing far wider than the miles he traveled. The phone calls became shorter, his texts less affectionate. The man who once couldn't get enough of me now seemed distant, preoccupied. I told myself it was just stress from work. I made excuses for him, for us, because the alternative was too painful to even consider. One evening, I was cleaning out his car as a surprise. Tucked under the passenger seat, I found a small, elegant gift box. My heart fluttered for a second. Was it an early anniversary present for me? I opened it, and my breath caught in my throat. Inside was a delicate silver necklace, one I had never seen before. It was beautiful, but it wasn't my style. A cold dread washed over me. Attached was a tiny card. My hands trembled as I read the 2 words written in unfamiliar handwriting. For everything. For everything. What did that mean? I confronted him that night, my voice barely a whisper as I held up the box. He paled. The excuse he gave was so flimsy, so poorly constructed, it was almost insulting. He claimed it was a corporate gift for a client, but his eyes, they couldn't lie. They darted away from mine, filled with a guilt he couldn't hide. That night I didn't sleep. I lay next to him, staring at the ceiling, feeling like a stranger in my own bed. The truth, when it finally came out, wasn't a single explosion. It was a slow, agonizing burn. A friend, bless her heart, had seen him. She'd hesitated to tell me, not wanting to be the one to shatter my world. But she couldn't bear to see me living a lie. She saw Theo at a cozy restaurant downtown, holding hands with another woman across the table. They were laughing, sharing a dessert, looking every bit the happy couple. The woman was wearing a delicate silver necklace. My friend's description was so vivid, so detailed, that every word was a dagger to my heart. The denial I had clung to for so long crumbled into dust, leaving me exposed and raw. The man I loved, the man I had given my life to, was a cheater. When I confronted him with the undeniable proof, the man I thought I knew vanished. The remorse, the apologies I expected, never came. Instead, I was met with a cold, shocking indifference. He didn't even try to deny it. He just shrugged, as if his betrayal was nothing more than a minor inconvenience. "It just happened, Yara," he said, his voice devoid of any emotion. He told me he'd been seeing her for over a year, a whole year. A year of lies, of stolen moments, of secret trips. He spoke of her with a strange sort of detachment, explaining that it wasn't about love, but about, what? Excitement? An escape? He couldn't even give me a clear reason. What hurt the most wasn't just the affair itself, but his complete lack of regret. There were no tears, no desperate pleas for forgiveness. He looked at me, his wife of a decade, as if I were a business deal that had gone sour. I felt like I was drowning. The life I knew had been a carefully constructed illusion, and it had all come crashing down. I looked at the man standing in front of me, and I didn't recognize him. Where was the boy I fell in love with? The man who promised to cherish me forever? All I saw was a stranger, a hollow shell who had ripped my heart out, and didn't even have the decency to feel sorry. He said he didn't want to hurt me, but his actions screamed the opposite. He had chosen to cheat, day after day, for over a year. He had chosen to lie to my face, to let me go on believing in a fairy tale while he was living a double life. And he felt no remorse. The coldness in his eyes told me everything I needed to know. Our marriage wasn't a partnership to him. It was a convenience, and I was disposable. In that moment, something inside me shifted. The deep, agonizing pain was still there, but beneath it, a spark of anger ignited. An anger not just at him, but at myself for being so blind. For loving someone so honestly who was incapable of returning it. I packed a bag that night. As I walked out the door of the home we had built together, I didn't look back. I didn't want to see his face, a face that now represented nothing but deceit. The tears I had been holding back finally streamed down my face, but they weren't just tears of sadness. They were tears of release. I was leaving behind the lie, the heartbreak, the man who cheated without regret. The road ahead was terrifyingly uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, I felt a flicker of something I hadn't felt in months. Hope. The days that followed were a blur of grief and legal paperwork. Every signature on a divorce document felt like a final, painful stab. But with each step I took away from him, the fog in my head began to clear. I leaned on my friends and family, the true pillars of support in my life. They surrounded me with love, reminding me of my own worth, a worth that Theo had tried to diminish. I started rediscovering the person I was before I became Theo's wife. I went back to painting, a passion I had set aside. I traveled, not on a rushed business trip, but for myself to see places I'd always dreamed of. I started to heal, piece by broken piece. It wasn't easy. There were nights I cried myself to sleep, mourning the future I thought I would have. But then I would wake up, look at the blank canvas in my studio, and realize I had a new future to create, one that was entirely my own. I learned that my love for him had been honest and true, and his betrayal didn't invalidate my feelings. It only revealed his character, not mine. His lack of regret was his burden to carry, not mine. I deserved someone who would cherish my love, not discard it. Or maybe I just needed to learn to cherish myself first. Today, my life looks nothing like I imagined it would 10 years ago, and I am so grateful for that. I am no longer just a part of a we. I am a whole person on my own. I found strength in my vulnerability and independence in my heartbreak. Theo? I hear he's still with the other woman. I don't know if he's happy, and honestly, I don't care. His story is no longer intertwined with mine. My story is about resilience, about rising from the ashes of a betrayal not broken, but reborn. It's about learning that the most important love story is the one you have with yourself. I loved him honestly, and he cheated without regret. But in the end, I was the one who truly got away, and I've never looked back. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar, remember you're not alone, and your strength is greater than your pain. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.